Welcome back to Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, I have a very, very special guest on my show. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Arthur, creator, youth advocate, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Toronto, Canada, all the way to Los Angeles. From Toronto, we have Miss Lisa Lallouz. How are you?
Hello, and thank you for having me. Ty.
You are most definitely welcome. You are definitely welcome. Let's just get started. I want to talk to you about Miss Bonita. This is not any regular type of children's series, okay? I've read info on it. I'm loving it. I'm loving the diversity, and I'm loving some of the things that you all talk about in your show and cover.
Yes.
So take us through the process of developing Miss Bonita.
Okay, so, Miss Bonita is a sort of a spin-off of the children's series that I created. I first started with a series of books, the Miss Bonita and Friends present, and then that evolved into live show, because that's my thing. I love having the kids in front of me, really at heart, the art. I mean, the books were written with my intention, were less clinical and educational and more, at this stage in my life, it was more of an artistic expression, especially at the time of my life, when I started. I wasn't really writing them as a practitioner, but of course, I spent so many years, and my education is as a social worker, so you could see that it comes out, it comes through in the books. But so we were doing the live shows, and the kids just, they were really loving it and wanting more and more. And my daughter, she's an actor, and she started, her own production company, creating content for youth, educational content for youth and mental health, to bring awareness and really like edgy stuff, and not necessarily the kind of stuff that would be pleasing always. I mean, it's G-rated, but I mean, it's really speaking to youth in their way and their language. And she said to me, we need to do this. We need to make a TV show out of Miss Bonita and Friends. And that's not my domain, So yeah, it's a whole other, when you have kids in front, I love improv. I'm like the Pied Piper with kids.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. And it's just, how everybody has their gift.
Mm-hmm.
There's no why to it. We can't explain why kids like what they like or who they like. It just is. Right. Yeah. And I remember my kids would watch shows and I would like bang my head against the wall. Like I couldn't believe it. It was like mind-boggling to me. Well, I have this kind of gift, thank you, that to really interact. And so for me, it was all about the live shows. So I said to her, okay, then this is your baby. So she created the mission. I mean, I did the first pilot and it was okay, but it was pretty boring. It was very more therapeutic. I don't know. The kids like
all right. Okay. I get
Michaela, Michaela she took it to a whole other level. She created the Miss Bonita web series, and and it is YouTube style / traditional TV. You have that feel, so it's polished. You know what I mean?
I love it.
And it's hilarious. I mean, it is a sketch comedy variety show, and it deals with it promotes the emotional well-being of kids, of course, because that's our why. That's what we do. And it's teaching them tools, but it's done in a hilarious way, in a fun way. And the kids, it's kind of like, when you stick medicine, like the pill inside the jam to, it's like,
yes.
They don't know they're learning. I mean, they do, but they love it. They love it, because the last thing I want is for a parent, as much as I want parents and grown-ups to love it, but I'm horrified at the thought of a kid being forced, you know, or told to watch it. You know?
Got you. So what are your age ranges for your show?
So for the Mission Bonita, it's 6 to 9, but we have kids as young as 5 and as old as 11 and 12. They love it. They love it. Yeah, because I think a couple of things. The subject matter is we're dealing with things like bullying, divorce, adult conflict, loss, grief, all these things. So it resonates with older kids. So they love that. The characters are fun for some of the characters for older kids. And then you have the Miss Bonita, which, you know, like she's fantasy, she's amazing. And so all the younger kids, they all love her. So for the older kids, she's kind of funny. It's almost like, it's hilarious, you know? She's like this awkward misfit, but for the younger kids, she's very like, you know, magical. And so it seems to be really crossing a bigger age range than we had thought.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know, let me just say, in this day and time, you know, it's great to have shows such as yours. You know, like I remember growing up, you know, I watched Electric Company, Sesame Street, shows of those natures, you know, to teach me whatever they can teach me. But a show like this and the things that you're covering, those shows didn't really cover that, you know, and how do you really deal with those types of emotions? And I really think that it's cool that you're conquering that, especially this day and time, because trust me, as much stuff as I see on TV for kids that's not really kid appropriate, right? This right here is, man, you know, like you said, fresh and it's new and it's giving like new blood into like, man, entertainment. And I think that is great. I think that Thank you. Well, you know, you touched on something. See, for me, Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, for example, like as a child, so I don't want to date myself, but we're not gonna do that. I was like, I would say I was a latchkey kid. I also came from a home, and it was like the things I think our parents did back today would be like so not okay, right? So like it was, I had a very challenging childhood, and so I think we underestimate, TV, and also I was an only child for 12 years before my sister was born. So it was like my babysitter, and we underestimate the profound effect. For me personally, these shows really, really resonated with me. And it's funny you mentioned them because, you know, these shows definitely, they had episodes, they went there, they were trying, they were pushing the envelope. They were doing things then that weren't done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, which is incredible. But am I saying that we're taking a step further? I think kids today, listen, they're on their phones and their apps, they're watching everything. They're more aware, you know, and and so for the parents that are concerned, that's great, because if, you know, I believe them, okay? A lot of parents say, it's like hilarious, you know, that they're next to their child and they're watching everything, then that's great. If they don't like what we're doing or their content, they don't have to watch it. So I'm making sure that whatever I'm putting out there for the parent who's not there, it's safe for their kid to watch. You know what I mean? And they trust it, you know, and I think it's the main thing you have to have. You know, I think if it appeals to the parents, like if the kids love it and it appeals to the parents, I think sometimes, you know, certain parents just can't let their kids know that they approve of a show that they watch. But you know, I think that is great that you have something. Not only are you trying to, like, you know, appeal to the children, but you're trying to appeal to the parents because, as you said, being a latchkey kid, I know I was a latchkey kid too. So come in and do whatever, watch whatever, but my imagination, like your imagination, I had my cartoons, I had my shows, like there was just, I had my routine. So if you're developing something for kids to have their routine, and you're like speaking of issues of today.
Yes.
Which is what I think is it is beautiful about your show.
Right.
Dealing with issues of today and feelings of today. And,
yes.
Kids really need that because in this day and time, you can never be too sure. So
well, that's it. And kids today also, what's incredible is I serve children. I as far as I'm concerned, I'm working for the kids,
Right.
So, and I get so many requests from them and fanfare from them. And it's so funny how I'll ask adults, or adults will give their feedback. Oh, can you talk about this? Or can you talk about that? And no kid has ever asked me about that, for example, whatever they're talking to me about. And, and it's so incredible how children are so unified in what their concerns are. It's almost always, some of the same issues that they're experiencing across the board, and what they need help with. And so not a lot, every single thing that I'm going to do, or the episode, it's always related, especially we're very new, right? So we're not on episode 900. So it's absolutely a direct result of feedback we got from kids.
So where can kids watch this, and when will it premiere?
Okay, so we have, I was really, people were shocked because we actually did get interest from, big names. So you think like, oh my God, but I was no, it is great. And I'm hoping to collaborate and connect with bigger broadcasters for the purpose of having a bigger reach to kids, but not for the purpose of, I want to stay true to the mission. And right, so the mission, this was born for me from my own grief and suffering, and that's very important to me, that I wrote this for I was brokenhearted, and I wrote this for brokenhearted children, so there's enough stuff out there for everybody, but this is really, it's important to me that it stays true to the why of what we're doing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are going to, we think, we know it's going to be successful. We want to do a web series on YouTube, so it will be available on our YouTube channel. We're going to launch it actually this coming Tuesday.
Oh, okay. 18th, August 18th?
That's right, August 18th. And that doesn't, there is discussion with broadcasters because the age range, what we're doing is 6 to 9. And like I said, our biggest fans are actually 10. I would say like our hardcore fans, that are writing and following us, they're about 10 years old. So for younger kids, we do have the Miss Bonita and Friends with the other characters like you see in the books. And that would be really appropriate for any type of broadcasting. But this is something like we're trying to keep it really grassroots, really, for the kids, for the people.
Don't let corporate take your baby.
Well, but at the same time, the baby, the little birdie's got to fly too. So we got to.
The birdie does.
Yeah. And it's, I think we have an incredible team. We have just such an incredible, you talked about diversity, inclusivity. I mean, we're not just, I honestly, it wasn't even conscious. It unfolded that way. And it happened naturally. But when I look at it, I'm so grateful because I think it's what's made it have such a far reach. The fact that we have such a diverse team, for the producers, and when I say, I love how people say that they're diverse, or they have women or people of color or differently abled, and then it's somebody who's, I don't want to say this in a way, who has no decision-making power, right? So all my people, they do.
So basically, okay, so from what I'm hearing, you don't handcuff your people. You let your people do what they need to do. No, because sometimes, I mean, like in speaking with diversity, and especially with a show such as this,
yes.
From what I'm hearing, this is something that has caught on. And if you're telling me that you have kids like in a 10-year-old range that are like, that's like some of your most hardcore like, fans, these are preteens. So in a matter of in like another 2 or 3 years, they're going to be teenagers. And if they're still like, encompassed with Miss Bonita, that's only going to take your run even further. And once those like 6 through 9s, come up, oh, well, man, my big brother, watched your show and or my sister or my cousin or, this, that, what have you. And the reach goes on and on and on. Yeah. And I just appreciate the grassroots approach because sometimes, we want to expand. We want our, vision or our vision to be bright and for everyone to see. Yes. Sometimes when we, send it out to others, it's not what we had in our mind. Yeah. It becomes something different, and either it's watered down or it's this or it's that. And man, before you know, it's not looking anything like it's created. So I commend you for that. I really do.
It's my team struggle. My team is, thank God, they're very devoted and they're when they see the kids, and that's why the live shows are so important to me, because when my actors and my team and everybody, we're a team of about, we're let's say between 15 and 20, and I would say on the executive there's like 5 of us, and when they see the kids really, then they're committed, they're devoted to the mission, because it's like we want every kid everywhere in the world to have it because we believe it's good. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, comes the idea, well, what's more important? Sacrificing for the good of the many, for the one. And mine is, I don't care if we help genuinely one child at a time, as opposed to risking, not losing it, but changing it or something, not staying true to what our mission, our purpose is, right?
And honestly, even if it is just one person that you spark, the interest in, you never know where that takes you. They may go out and create their own Miss Bonita and Friends.
Absolutely.
Or, hey, I want to come join you guys, and I want to do this. I want to add this, and you're adding on. And that, look, I hope you have a Simpsons run. Okay, seriously. Yeah, they were on for like 30 years.
That would be amazing. And again, like, it's not a vanity project, right? As long as the children are benefiting, that's what we want. And we have. Like in the story, let's say in the books, what was so important to me is, let's say, they go on the adventure to help the kids solve the problem, right? Mm-hmm. So we're trying to, you don't have to have the problem. Not everything has to happen to you. You don't have to experience, God forbid, divorce and poverty and disease. Mm-hmm. But it's important that the kids learn how to be supportive, that they learn also, because, even as adults, somebody just like loses their home or something bad, sometimes we don't know what to say. We don't know how to be supportive. We don't, right? Even for us. So we're really promoting emotional intelligence. We're giving kids tools, creating that platform, that discussion. And so it's, and lots of fun and silliness.
I just think it's great. I love your mission. I love the things that you're covering. And it's something new. I watch a lot of TV, and I don't see those sort of things here, or I feel it's so far and few between. But I want to talk about you now. I want to talk about
Okay. But you have to, on Tuesday, I want you to watch and you give us your feedback. I hope you love it.
That you do not have to worry about. My comments in the comment section. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
It will be a Word with Ty Brownlow logo in the back. Trust me.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Thank you.
So let's talk about you, because you're the creator of all this, but you yourself, you have your own personal journey, and some of that you hinted on as well. And let's just talk about some of the things that you do.
Okay.
You got your degree in social work.
Yes.
So, you have a natural talent to connect with children and youth.
Yes.
And coming from a mixed ethnic background and heritage, you understand, embracing diversity and things of that nature. Talk about some of the things that, you want to raise awareness on.
Well, I mean, kids, it's pretty astonishing. It's like a big question that we ask. Is it that we have more, is it because people are more open that we're finding out these incredible statistics of kids in crisis in mental health? Or is there actually more numbers? You know what I mean? It's arguable. Are there really more numbers, or is it that just nobody knew before? So the fact is that we do know now, and we're seeing things like suicide in children. We're seeing, kids really crying out for help. And with social media, I mean, it's just impossible. We can't ignore it. It's there in front of us. So this is something that is our why, is what we're really passionate about, is answering a call to action. We believe there's, maybe now it's even, I could say, crisis with the whole COVID pandemic, the lockdown, and parents are suffering and struggling. Whoever was struggling, now it's their situation is exacerbated, and the children are too. Yeah. So it's really something that we need to address. We can't continue to ignore it. And we're looking at we want to plant seeds. Okay, because we're looking, I mean, me personally, I'm seeing numbers, and I'm seeing youth, older kids turning to drugs and homelessness and crime and delinquency. And it's like, it's our problem. This is everybody's problem. And it's my belief that we are all responsible, regardless of our own personal situation. So not everybody will agree, so I'm getting as many people.
Oh no, well, here's the thing, with that, kids today, and I try to ask, I always ask people who are, working with kids, so I'll ask you the question as well. What do you think is the main disconnect between children and adults, and especially parents of older people? Like, what's the disconnect sometimes? Because, we have all these things happening. Now, I'll just tell you real quick. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I'm living out in Los Angeles now. So, but I worry about what happens back in my home city, because there's looting and rioting and this, that, and the other. There's a cry for help, and I feel as if, that cry isn't being heard, because some people choose to put property over people.
Of course.
And, unfortunately, that's the society that we live in today. But what are your words, or any words of wisdom for those who are just going through this time right now?
Well, here's the thing. If it's a big, it's a big issue. It's not something simple, but it's almost like, when something is, the solution isn't as it is simple. I think that it is something, I believe it takes a village. I believe that it takes a village to raise children. I believe in communities and families. And we see that family, my own family, what propelled us into crisis was absolutely positively the lack of structure in the home, support, resources. I lived it. I see it. So I know that the more support a family has, a mother, a father, whomever is raising that child, the more support a child has, wherever it's coming from, extended family, community, there will be better results. There will be more success. So I think the underlying problem is a breakdown, you know, which starts with, let's say, family, then community, and then society. And we took away, you know, churches and Boy Scouts and all these things, but we didn't replace it with anything. So it's like our kids, they're not safe to go outside and make groups, and they're not safe. So it's there's devastating loneliness, and it's this is happening to me. I'm all alone. There's isolation, you know, and if you're all alone, well, we know how important it is for human beings anyways to feel connected. Yes. To something, whether it's a purpose, a cause. So it's so, and we forget the small stuff. Everybody's thinking so big, but like changing the world could be, I have a reason to get up today, and it could be to, you know, visit my grandma. It doesn't have to be this, I'm going to be the president, you know, it's, so this is where I think, yeah.
Well, you know, it goes back to the old saying, keep it simple, you know?
Yeah, yes.
Simple sometimes. And like you said, you know, actually you said two things, but the main thing is devastating loneliness.
Yeah.
That is very profound. Like,
yeah.
I thank you for that term, but
yeah.
really hit the nail on the head with that.
Yes. And loneliness doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually alone. It can also mean that you're not connected to yourself or to your heritage or your community or to something. And so if you think about it, let's say your family lives on a farm, you have a purpose to take care of the chickens, or I know, you know, and everybody say it can't be that simple. It is that simple. Our kid, right? And it's not just kids walking around trying to figure out what they're going to do with themselves, you know? So social media, in a sense, I do believe in the positive. There's positive, but there's lots of dangers too. It's comparing it's an illusion, right? So it looks like everybody, you know, we choose what we want to show people. Yes. So we construct it. So kids imagine how, you know, and they can have 500 friends, but they're not really friends, right? So it's, I still think they're quite lonely. And I think that just that connection, just having that one person, that one thing, whether it's a person or something that you like to do, is actually a remedy. And it becomes the medicinal cure, as opposed to, and it's not big pharma, and it's not, you don't need 500 degrees, and you don't need all these experts coming in, you know.
No, you're right. Hey, I think sometimes we get so caught up in that, you know, everybody wants these stats, you know, well, hey, I did this, you know, I have 18 degrees from, you know, these, right. But you have no real connection with, you know, what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So,
right.
Man, look. We can go on forever with that.
Yeah.
Miss Lisa Lallouz.
Yes.
How can people get in contact with you? If a person wants to reach out to you about Miss Bonita or just you and to have you speak to people or what have you, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, we have a website. So www.missbonitaandfriends.com, because there's lots of other Miss Bonita companies out there. So, okay. And even messaging on we have a Mission Bonita IG. So I think those are the best places to message. And I have a personal Lisa Lallouz author Facebook, and I answer everyone as quickly as I can, you know, so anybody can reach out, and it would be my pleasure.
Man, let me just say, I enjoy having this conversation with you, because
thank you.
What you are presenting is very refreshing, and it's bringing new life and a new shift in thinking towards our youth and somewhat preteens, young adults as well. You know, they're going to be that in the future, but if you can start now, and as you say, plant the seed now and let it grow. You never know, man. There may be hope for us after all on this planet.
Yes.
But we have come to our last question. That my show is known for.
Okay.
Miss Lisa Lallouz.
Yes.
What is the one word that best describes you and why?
Light. My name, Lallouz, means light. Lallouz, the light. So I would say to be a light. Wherever you go, where there's darkness, there's a dark room, be the light that lights it up. Just with your smile, just with a nice hello. Be the light in somebody's day, in their life, with a small gesture. It doesn't have to, anything.
Hey, I love it. I love it. That's the word. We're going to stick to it, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Man, once again, I thank you for coming on the show and talking.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Look. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Word with Ty Brownlow. Once again, I am your host, Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can always find me on Instagram, Word with Ty Brownlow, Facebook, Word with Ty Brownlow, YouTube, Word with Ty Brownlow, Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV. And man, if you can't remember all that, just go to tybrownlow.com. You can get all this good stuff here. Okay? And
awesome.
man, I thank you.
Thank you.